Hi! This is an epic story from Czech Republic that is in the Central Europe. And a quick information for you to know, Czechoslovakia was a country that existed from 1918 to 1992 and it does not exist anymore, and it was divided peacefully into two different nations, the Czech Republic and Slovakia, on January 1st, 1993. Now if you wonder if it is Czech Republic or Czech Republic, the pronunciation dictionary says it is Czech and not Czech. This epic story, A Clever Lass, that is, a clever young woman, is from the collection of Czech folk tales by Bozina Nemkova in the year 1917, and that was when Czechoslovakia still existed. Here is the Czech epic A Clever Lass, narrated by Shylu. A knave shepherd lived with his daughter and spent his days pasturing his flock of sheep around the valley. One such day, while roaming in the fields, he saw something shining brightly on the opposite side of the hill. Unable to visualize from far, he decided to walk carefully. He was startled to see a golden mortar. Mortar is actually a cup-shaped bowl-like thing which is usually used while crushing the ingredients in cooking or pharmacy. And a pestle is the heavy tool with a rounded end that helps to crush the substances in the mortar. When the shepherd found the golden mortar, he picked it up and said, "I will give this golden mortar to the king." Standing beside him, his wise daughter said, "Father, I suggest you don't make that mistake. If only you give the mortar to our king, he will ask for the pestle and you don't have one, you will fall in trouble." The shepherd did not pay heed to his daughter's cautionary words. He took the mortar and demanded the guards to allow him to meet the king. "Your Majesty, sorry to interrupt you, but I want to give you this mortar." The king glanced on it and inquired, "Where is the pestle?" He said, "I don't have the pestle, my king." The king was annoyed and he ordered, "What is the use of a mortar without a pestle? You have 3 days to bring the pestle or I will penalize you." Hearing this, the shepherd murmured, "Oh, my daughter was right. She said you would punish me if I don't bring the mortar with the pestle. I did not listen to her, so this is the punishment that serves me right." "Looks like your daughter is clever," the king interrupted. "Yes, my dear king, she is," the proud father said, trembling. The king declared, "I will pardon you, but you go back home and tell your daughter that I will marry her on one condition. She has to come neither by day nor by night. She cannot be clothed or unclothed, and she is not allowed either walking or riding." Quite puzzled, the shepherd reached home late evening. He called his daughter and said, "The king wants to marry you and he will not ask for the pestle if you can do what he has asked." "What is that, father?" the girl asked calmly. The old man said, "You can save me from the penalty if you go to the king at a time which is neither day nor night," and he continued to tell the details. The daughter wasn't worried at all. She assured, "Don't worry, father. I will do as the king demanded." The shepherd thought about how his daughter would outwit the king's demand. He noticed his daughter set off at dusk, which is neither day nor night. She wrapped herself in a fishing net and took a goat which she mounted for some time and then walked a little. Finally, she reached the king's place. The king was impressed at her intelligence. He announced, "I will marry you, but promise me you will never give any advice to any soul. If you do, we will part ways." The queen-to-be agreed. On the other hand, the bustling market in the town had many farmers selling their produce and livestock. On one such day, a farmer came with his mare, that is, a female horse, along with its foal, that is, the young horse or the baby horse. Suddenly, the foal ran away to another farmer's side who was standing with a gelding. Gelding is a castrated male horse, that is, a male horse whose testicles are removed. The farmer shouted, "This is my foal! This is my foal!" That afternoon, both the farmers started arguing among themselves. The townspeople, unable to seize the situation, took them to the king to decide on the matter. After listening to the whole incident, the king gave a verdict that the foal belonged to that other farmer. He said, "It is a natural tendency for every child to run towards its mother. Since the foal ran towards that horse, it belongs to that farmer." The farmer who originally had the foal wasn't happy and he expressed his displeasure. Out of anger, he kept mimicking the king while leaving the courtroom. "The gelding has a foal! The gelding has a foal!" The queen heard this murmur and she questioned, "What are you saying? That's nonsense." The farmer narrated the whole story to the queen and lamented the loss of his foal. The queen laughed gently and said, "Okay, listen. Tomorrow morning my husband plans to survey the village. You take a fishing net and start fishing on the road as you see him approaching your direction. The king will inquire why you are fishing on the dry tarred road." And then the farmer pleaded to know. "Tell him, if a gelding can foal, then I'm hopeful that I will also catch a fish on the road. But you will never say who advised you," the queen added. While the king was strolling, he saw the farmer trying to catch fish. He summoned him and asked if he has gone insane. The farmer answered, and the king understood that this bright idea did not come from the farmer's head. On little coaxing, the farmer opened up. Angry, he convened the queen. "You always kept your promise, but today you broke it. Leave the palace at once, but I permit you to take one thing that you like the most," he ordered. That night, there was a grand dinner party hosted by the king and his noblemen. When the banquet was over, the queen said, "Before we part, you should drink a glass of wine to toast for my health and happiness." She mixed opium in wine, and as such, he lost consciousness after drinking it. A carriage was brought in, and the queen put the king inside it, and she went to her father's hut. Next morning, when the king woke up, he found himself lying on a straw bed. "Where am I?" the king mumbled. "You are with me, my king. Didn't you order me to take one thing that I loved the most?" The king again realized how clever his wife was, and he said, "Now I allow you to advise anyone you like." Saying this, the king and the queen left the hut and returned to the palace, and they continued their reign happily. And here ends the Czech epic folk tale, A Clever Lass. Let me know if you liked this story and your thoughts about it in the comment section. See you tomorrow with another epic story. Bye bye.